Today's May 16th, 2020. It's been a long haul through many weeks of cold weather here. I haven't seen in my colonies in a long time. It's, I believe, about 13, 14 degrees here. And bees are quite happy with that temperature. I need to check at least on specific colonies here to see how they're developing. I need to get an idea of how the big ones are doing, and there's a lot that were struggling, so I need to get an idea how they're doing too. I may put some of my smaller colonies on top of some of my larger colonies to boost them. I always watch for the queen, but not what I need to find. Having a queen is one thing, having a queen that's performing is entirely something else. There she is right there. If I can get my gloves off, I'll mark that queen because that's a 2019 queen. I love this man-like one-handed queen catcher. Does a really good job. You just have to make sure the queen is up in it. And you close the door. Okay, so she's in there. She's got a few workers in there with her. And I have to go over to the other side and get my pen. That's one of my 2019 queen production. Queens. Hopefully I can do this so you can watch. So the door is closed, and now I need to push that plunger up. The workers should emerge. Take my pen cap off. The workers should come up through there. I'm not so much concerned with them. I'm watching the queen, and I want to just pinch her up on there. I'll flick the workers out of the way. Okay. Alright, girls. And we'll just get some green paint on her. You can really push up with this tool because the pad under the queen is so soft that it just cradles her. It won't let you push too hard. Even that worker that was caught up here in the corner, she's fine. Okay. I really don't know what you can see. Hopefully you can see that. So I'll leave her in there for the rest of my inspection. And I know I'm not going to damage her with what I'm doing. Okay, we'll try and get Her Majesty back in here. Nice green crown. Oh, there she is. One down the hole. So this is what I call my drone friend. This has got a half a sheet of foundation in the center. So you can see that she's laid that up, largely worker brood. They've got drone brood here, drone brood here. Same thing on both sides. So this tells me a story that this hive has excess. They have lots of resources. The queen is laying well. They're optimistic about the future. And this hive is going to contribute to my mating drones here in just a little while. Some of those cells are still open. So I'm going to say that those drones are going to emerge in 10 to 14 days is my guess. So I can, I can use that kind of a bit of information to maybe time my queen rearing. This would actually be a very good candidate to put a weaker hive on top. I see drones walking around, and that's my cue. I've learned from experienced beekeepers, that's my cue. I can begin to graft when I see drones walking on the comb. Lots of drones on the bottom. I've got some cups here. In my opinion, an empty cup means nothing. Recently I've heard people say, my bees are making drones, they're gonna swarm. I don't ascribe to that at all. To me, the building of drone cells, the laying of drones and the raising of drones does not mean your bees are going to swarm. In fact, I think that's a very healthy place for the bees to be. You've got a nice colony that's doing well, it's feeling good. Strong colonies, healthy colonies lay drones. Strong colonies also swarm. But colonies laying drones doesn't mean they're going to swarm. It means they're on that path. You know, it means they're doing well. It means they're growing. But I don't ascribe to the idea that that's one of the preparations. I just don't like to see new beekeepers panic. Oh, drones. My bees are going to swarm. You know. So if I'm contemplating placing this hive on that one for the boost, I have to determine to the best of my ability why this colony is struggling. Because if they're struggling due to a failing queen, making that maneuver is a waste of resources. All I'm going to do is pull down that good colony for practically no gain. She is. We'll see if we can mark her as well. That's a 19 as well. Happening, so they got it going on, just in a small way. I think this I'm gonna try and combine this. Not combine. I'm gonna try to boost it with that one. One sheet just perfectly covers that. This is my drone frame, so they've got some drones on the left side here, and there's some here too. Actually, she's laid most of it up, so this colony is feeling good. They've got everything they need. Okay, this cold weather did nothing good for my weaker hives. Ooh, lots of pollen in that frame. My goodness, that's awesome. That'd be a good frame to take for a cell builder. Holy smokes, I don't know what to do with doubles now. I haven't run them for so long. she's got this laid up. Son of a gun. This is brood here. Sealed brood. Nice big drones walking around. I think I see all stages of larvae. She hit this pretty fast after I put it on. She's got a lot of sealed brood up here. I'll give you a little lesson here. Hopefully you can see this. So you can see this here is, I'm going to call this honey. It's probably what they packed away from the sugar syrup, but that's where they would put the honey. They put the honey in an arc over the brood. So it's hard for me to see what you're seeing. You see this big guy here? That's a drone. That's a male. Harmless. He can't sting. He's got no stinger. And the little ones are all the little female worker bees. You see this drone? He's brand new. He's very hairy. See? Very furry there. Great big eyes. So you can see the brood here. Goes all the way out to here. There's open cells with the little white larvae in them. And on about the 9th day, the bees cap that. And that's what's in here. This is, each one of these cells is a baby worker bee. These bullet-shaped cells are baby drone bees here. So that's a little bit of a lesson for today. A little bit heavy, not too bad. Anxious to see how much brood she has going on at the bottom here. Quite a few drones. She's been laying down here recently, so she's using the center all the way up. I think I've seen what I need to see. They've got lots of space. They're not thinking about swarming. They're doing good. They have resources. Bees don't want to go through a queen excluder unless they have a reason. And foundation is not a reason. Okay, so you see these float in here. I'd like them drawn nicely. Okay, let's hope they tolerate that. Okay, so this looks like a pretty strong colony to me. However, there is not one drone laid up in this drone frame. Okay? I'll tell you. They're actually even filling it here. They're filling it with syrup. They're filling the center of their pollen. So what's going on? They seem to have a lot of bees. I haven't seen any brood yet. Uh-oh. I see no brood yet. I'm halfway in here. No brood. So here we got a queenless hive with a really good healthy population. So we have options here. I could steal a frame of young larvae from another hive, notch it in OTS fashion. And then they would raise a queen from that. Good option. That'll take 30 days though. Oh, they're bringing pollen in, they're packing away the syrup. Okay, so combine this with a weak colony. See how that drone frame made that, told that story? A nice looking colony. Good population. I never read the newspaper. I pick it up from time to time so I get paper for my smoker. Wonder why local media is. suffering so. Beekeepers. Okay, so the workers can get through that slotted little door. Queen is on this side here, and she's there. She goes. She was upside down. I need her to straighten out. There we go. We'll just get rid of those workers. We got a little baby bee, a little fuzzy one. Fuzzy girl here. They're hairy little things when they're born. Okay. She can't get through there. She'd like to. Let it sit there a few minutes so she dries. Okay, the drone frame, the story frame. What's going on? Okay, they've got honey in the middle. They've got drones on the way on the outsides. Bees crawling up my legs. The larva isn't swimming. It's a bit dry, so the bees definitely have been holding back the feed in this cold weather. I'd look at her right here. She's got a bit of her paint rubbed off. Okay, so this frame has got something a little different. They've got worker cells. It's a little spotty. They've also got some drone cells here in the middle. Here. Over here. That's not necessarily anything to worry about. That could simply be that the cells in this comb were stretched out, so that's what she laid. If she comes across a larger cell, she's going to lay a drone in it. That one little patch on that comb is not sufficient to worry about. If that's a pattern here throughout the hive, then we might have a problem. But I do not see that as a pattern. So I am not worried about that at all. This is the problem. She got this nest all the way out to here in the warm weather. And then it cooled off and it all died. They didn't have the population to keep it warm. Same thing happened here, eh? See how the nest is all the way out to there? All you need is one really cold night on these small colonies. And that's what happens. They lose all that momentum. Right full of drones on each side. So that tells me these ladies have energy to burn. She's got her second round laid up there now. You can see when there's a ring of capped brood and a patch of young brood in the middle. A long black one. Boy, she could use a repaint. Oh, sure, sting me in the sock just before I go pick up the queen. Ah, you little bugger. Climb right up the side. That's the cute. Workers can go and get in the way. Okay, big guy. Queen and a worker and a drone there. seeing the cells in the dim light. I can see eggs. So I'm going to say this is worth saving. So that's a nice looking colony on the bottom. Bloody rain. Smoked them up a little bit. Got some drones here. We got a cup there. Nothing in it.
They're certainly not close to swarming. I just really want to keep an eye on that. There's a few quite strong ones, but they're not close to swarming. Our season is so late that I really didn't expect to see signs of swarming. And I also set a few, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 small colonies on top of strong colonies in order to boost their ability to lay and progress. I did a patty check all around, probably added patty to half of them. Those shims and sugar cakes that I added earlier, I took all that off. Some of the sugar cake had actually been consumed, which was nice to see. That, you know, it wasn't just a move for nothing. You can't leave those shims on too long, they start building comb up in there. And a few of them had done just that, so I had to clean that up. Everybody has syrup. They either have syrup or they've just finished their syrup. So many of the colonies that have taken their syrup, they've actually stored it in the frames, so that's fine. They've got good feed stores in their hive.
So here's a little maneuver that I learned, and I saw it on a YouTube video. You may have heard of this guy. It's Stipler or Steepler or something YouTube video. It's a pretty good YouTube channel. He runs a little hobby operation over Miami, Manitoba, and he seems to have a clue what he's doing. So this was a combine. It wasn't a combine, it was a salvage. There's a queen in each box, and in the middle here is a queen excluder. This was a very weak hive. I checked it for a viable queen. The queen was laying properly. Her only problem really was that she had not enough worker bees to take care of her brood, so she was laying as much brood as they could take care of. What she needed was a better population. She needed a workforce. This hive was actually doing quite well. This colony was robust. It was filling the box. It had lots of population and doing just fine. So what I did here, this was a week and a half ago or so, I put a layer of newspaper on top of this bottom colony. Then I put a queen excluder on that. We don't want the queens to mix. And then I put the weaker colony on top. So what I expect to see is that the colony below has chewed through the paper and come up and merged with the colony above, and they live together quite happily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this colony off, check it for queen rightness, and I'll check the bottom one for queen rightness. I'll set this aside while I move this colony over to the blank spot on the end. Then I'm going to set this one down here. And why I'm going to do that is so that the initially weak colony then will absorb more field force into their hive. This colony is quite strong. They don't need as much care and attention, and they can recruit their own workforce, field force, out of the population they have. So I'm going to open this up and make sure the populations are appropriate for that move. I'm going to check for queen rightness, of course. If one of the queens didn't survive for any reason, then this is maybe going to become a combine, or maybe emerge with another weak colony. So let's look inside. Oh, look at the population. That hive is completely full. Now, my concern at this point is this queen alive? And is she laying? Nice and calm, aren't they? I'll change that. So we've got a pollen patty here that they're very interested in. I'll just remove that temporarily. We've got to take the apivar strips out. We'll start with our drone frame. It's always nice to look at that. So it's a good one to start with. Oh, these drone cells are right full of nice plump larvae. They're probably on day 5. So she jumped on those pretty fast. Holy smokes. Okay, I'll put that down over here. Oh my goodness, that makes me happy. It's a very good sign. Okay, let's get into this a little farther. I'll take the apivar strip out. And this one out. And we'll check a couple frames. We'll see if we can see eggs. We'll see if we see a queen. You know what? Seeing a queen is not really that meaningful. Seeing the evidence of a laying queen. Very small larva I see. Yeah. Okay. Brood nest looks to be over here, except that drone frame. Boy, that was way over there. So let's keep going here. Oh, okay. I think this is pretty good evidence, right? Not a bad pattern. And this is probably 10 days, so that was laid pretty quickly after I placed them up here. The weather really turned around about then, so that would have played a part in the increased laying activity. It was so cold before. We were getting a week or 10 days of overnight lows below freezing. So she's really hit the ground. And as long as she is here, this will be a success. It's always so hard to see eggs. I kind of would expect the brood nest to extend this way. Now that side is insulated, so that may play a part. Oh, there's our queen. Most of her paint job is missing right here. 2019 queen. I don't know, she's on that frame, but I don't see eggs. I would like to remark that queen so she's easy to find. There she is. She went up. Okay, so this is a green queen. Push the plunger up and the workers should come out of there. There she is, trapped. Nice big green dot on that queen. Okay, she got no more workers in there. Set her there for a few minutes. I think that paint, when it comes off in the center, it's probably a function of me not letting it dry long enough. So we'll just do that. Right there. So here's my queen excluder. So now you can see how the bees have chewed their way through that. And now I want to make sure that this colony is still all in good shape. Oh, bees going up my legs. Okay, this drone frame is completely laid up. They've been emerging. And it's full of eggs now in the worker cells. So that's a very good sign. Lots of drone cells along the bottom here. No cups, no queen cells. So a little cup over in the corner there. And it doesn't have any. Ooh, it's got royal jelly in it. All right. So, why are they doing that? Royal jelly. Peanut butter jelly time. So, it looks like I need to give this one a thorough inspection for cells and cups. Nice pollen frame. Multicolored pollen. Lots of young larvae. I'm not anticipating a queen problem here. Anything can happen though. I see cups with jelly in them. So they're making plans. I need to thwart those plans. Lots of pollen in here. See, this is her problem. She's pollen bound. Get all pollen bound and they want to leave. Complete frame of pollen. There's feed on this side. It's heavy too. This side, oh, I got a bee up my shorts. This side is, look at that. And they'll get a second for sure. So take our salvage colony and put it right back there. That one came from. And then we will release Her Majesty into there. And there she goes down the hole. So these will both, I think, get seconds. And they have plenty of pollen, they don't need patties. It's the 25th of May here today. And, well, I suppose it's probably the 25th of May a lot of places. We've come out a couple days of rain, not constant rain, really only about half a centimeter of rain, but enough to bring these dandelions out in full force. Look at that. The beekeeper's never seen more beautiful sight than that, except a big fat queen. I guess that's more beautiful. So one thing you know in the spring, as your bees are building up and getting stronger, you get a couple of days that are cooler or rainy, and not so cool is even worse. Your bees are confined and they're cooped up inside, they get jumpy, and then in the next day or two, then they'll start to swarm. I don't think I have that problem here. My hives are not progressing quite that far yet. Our spring was very cold for a long time, and so the bees are, I estimate, at least 2 weeks behind, maybe 3. So I should not have swarm preparations for a little while yet. But today I'm taking stock to see where everybody is. If I have energy, I'm going to collect these pails. They don't need pails anymore because the dandelions are out. And I'm going to set down a couple of salvage hives. I did peek the other day and they looked really good. So we'll get at it. Get that drone frame out maybe first. Oh, she's right full of drones. Maybe I should look under this one. You have to be real careful when you're beekeeping in shorts. Yeah, that's a box of bees for sure. Okay, so I'll smoke those up a little. Got some nice orange pollen. That might be the dandelions. So we're looking good here still. And they don't even have drones down here because they have their drone frame. They've put everything in there. So they've got a cup on the face of this one. We'll see. There's a few. We'll see if there's anything in those cups. Just check quickly for the queen. Yeah, she's laid right up end. They need a second box. Nothing in those cups. All right. There's another cup. Oh, right in the back of the leg. Ouch. Boy, she hit me hard. I'm gonna make a split. Little unorthodox maybe. It's not your typical split that you're going to use maybe a couple frames of brood and make a nuke out of. Add a mated queen, that sort of thing. But I'm gonna make a split regardless. What I've got here is I've got a very strong double. I've put another box up here. This is the second box that I took off. So we've got lots of brood. They're pollen bound. We've got lots of feed. We've got a great dandelion flow going right now. So what I want to do here is I need to find the queen. This is a double. There's 20 frames. I have looked through a little bit. I didn't see her, but that's okay. We can make a split anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to get all of the bees in the second box into the first box. I'll use this box here as a shaker funnel. I'll just shake the bees into that. And then what I'll do is I'll put a queen excluder. So if I get all the bees in the bottom box, the queen is one of those bees, so she'll be there. I don't know which box she's in. I suspect she's in the top box because generally they'll lay top at this time of year here. So it takes a few minutes. It's not a big deal. It just saves time to be looking for that queen for, 20 frames, you could look for that queen a long time. I know how long it's going to take me to shake them in there, and it's not that long. And what I did as I tipped this up, I looked at the bottom, checking for swarm cells. There are none, so we're in good shape there. So we've got this box here now, and this third box is going to sit on top of a cover right here, and there shouldn't really be anything on the frames because I'm going to take them out of the second, shake them, and place the empty frames in there. There's brood on those frames, so it's a reasonably warm day. I don't want that brood to be out too long, but I should be okay timing wise. So we'll take this frame out. It's mostly feed. It's kind of heavy. It's got a lot of larvae. I'm going to quickly look at each frame because if I see the queen, get her in the bottom box, I'm done shaking. Right? Because that's the whole idea. I need to move the queen down. So if I see her, then I'm done shaking. This is all nectar. And if there's a bee or two on there, deal. You need to get the queen. So if you got a half dozen bees, you can look at that and easily tell if one of them is a queen. These are nice looking frames. She's laying really well. See, there's the queen. So I'll just shake enough to get her off of there. So she's gone. Now I can go back, put my frames back in the original box. See, it wasn't that easy. Put these back in here. So now I have no queen. I have nurse bees, maybe field bees in the top. going to shake this one off, just give it a wrap. The bees hate that, and they sting me in the legs. Go up my shorts too, holy smokes. Sting me in the back of the leg. Okay, so our queen is in there. We put this on here. Then we put our second back on it. It's already got a lot of bees in it, but we'll just wait overnight, and then we'll take that off. And that'll be a queenless split. There's quite a bit of brood in here. And that's a real easy way to make splits. So overnight, the nurse bees and chiefly nurse bees are going to come up into here, keep this brood warm, feed the open larvae, whatnot. Tomorrow, I'll come here, I'll take this box, which I know will be queenless, set it likely right there, and then I'll actually put another second on here because this colony is bursting at the seams. Look, all these frames to look through, empty space galore, and no eggs and larvae, and yet she's laying in the bottom box or something. I just don't like doubles. Singles, man, you can tell what's going on in an instant with less than half as much work. A lot of beekeepers went from doubles to singles, and they all say, I'll never go back. But I've never met one who went to doubles and said, you know, I really miss all that extra work, extra expense. Never heard one say that. Doubles, you're forever doing this. Take that heavy box off. Over to the side so you can look at the bottom box. Oh! Catching it today. Son of a gun. One thing that's kind of exciting here is I've been wanting to do my grafting this year to raise my queens. So for that I need to make a queenless builder, a cell builder. And so that's a 10 frame box, and I haven't decided if I want to build a double or a single. I don't know how many queens I would like to raise at one time.